the skills and a dream. So those kind of things are there in my presentation. Let me share my presentation so that my flow remains the same. Uh,
you should be able to share it.
Yeah. So,
and while you're sharing, if I may, we are.
Just wait. I'm share screen. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
Is the presentation visible?
Yes.
See, the topic given to me was making I'll start with the academia industry. What are the reasons behind these gaps? So if the gaps are there and it is there since long, then why we are not addressing these gaps? Why we are not filling these gaps? Is there any hurdle? Is there any problem from academia side or industry side, or we are just ignorant about it? So there is one reason out of these three reasons. So now, and what is the mindset of industry? Both are living in two different worlds. Academia is basically completing their course, their contents, and whatever courses and other things that they are having. Whereas the industry, they keep on changing their mindset. Their main mindset is to make profit. So there's a difference between the mindset of these two industries, two fields, the academia and the industry. See, like the goal of both the fields, goal of both the industries are different. Industry is striving to survive making profit. They are looking for profit. But whereas the academia is striving for the recognition, their brand value, their NAC accreditation, and other sort of thing. So the two industries are different. There's no matching between these two together. That's the reason behind the gap. So then we will see how we fulfill these gaps. Now, the objective of these two fields are industry thinks in terms of short range goals. See, they want, there is a project, they want you to complete that project and submit the project to make money. They put their cost, put their profit, and etc. Those kind of things. They are not looking for those things permanent. There are very few industries which want you to make a generic project, generic system, which can be used at many places. For example, the operating system. Operating system is a generic software, which is applicable to all the new systems. And there is a solution on financial accounting that is a goal-specific thing. So academia has a long-range perspective. Academia wants people, academia wants students to know certain rules, certain laws, certain science behind the phenomena and other sort of things. The bookish knowledge, the academic knowledge. So the objective of these two things, the gap, the reason behind the gap is that the objective of these two fields are different. Now, the another reason is industry offer proven and low risk possible. They are not bothered about this much about the sustainability. They want to give the cost effective solution learning, new contents, and as a part of their innovation. So the academia prefer innovation, research and development, new topics to be included, whereas the industry, they are looking for low cost solutions, low cost products. So this is another reason. See, another reason behind the gap is academia concentrate on highly efficient, maximize their recognition. They want their brand value to be established. So their whole focus is toward the brand value, and whereas the academia insists for the brand value, they want to recruit top top 10 universities, top 100 universities, whereas industry is mainly concerned about the solution with a less cost. So they are reducing their cost day by day, whereas the academia, they want their efficiency, they want their brand value to increase. So these were the reasons behind the academia industry gap. Now, how we put all these things together in the shape of a flow chart or in the shape of a figure. Now, this is a one page. This image explains that what are the industry academia gap, how it can be fulfilled, how it can be removed. Now, the academia and the educational institutes, they are the knowledge reservoir. See, we put in one word that they are the knowledge house, knowledge reservoir. Their prime aim is to disseminate that knowledge from their reservoir to the new students, to the students who are not known to that. So now we have a pool of knowledge, and the academia main objective is to disseminate, to train students and other new entrants about that knowledge. Now, what is the outcome of that? Now, you have a reservoir. Your activity is to disseminate that knowledge. What is the output? Output is the content, the improvisation, the content that will again go back to the knowledge reservoir. The whole purpose of academia, the teaching, is that they are sharing their experiences, their knowledge, their science, and everything is all the subjects, in fact, to the students, and they are improvising their content, and the content will go back to improvise, to improve the knowledge reservoir. Now, this is half part of that. Now, what are the suggestions? What should be there in educational institute to reduce the academia industry gap? Now, if we take the center of excellence or a think tank in the universities and colleges, I mean, the universities and colleges, they are having a knowledge pool. But if we make a think tank there by few academicians and few industry experts, now I call it a think tank in universities and colleges, which includes the industry, which includes the ultimate user of their product. Their product is a knowledgeable student. The university product is a knowledgeable student, and if during the training, during their course, if the industry is included, then the things will be different. So that is the industry link. In case of universities, I'm not asking the drastic change, which should be there. When I will explain the other slides by robotics and other things, my whole purpose is from teaching to learning. The basis of education should change from teaching to learning. I am not touching right now that part shift from teaching to learning. Here I am including whatever existing environment is there in academia. Then if we include their think tank there, the things will improvise. They will do projects, they will do dissertation and other things. And then the output of that project, handling those projects, industry projects, will go back to the knowledge reservoir. Now, you are continuously improving your pool. Or if you have a pool, you are cleaning the pool, you are improvising the pool, which is your main source of dissemination of knowledge. Now, first was the dissemination and whatever shortcomings and other things they are finding, they are improvising that. Second way is they make a think tank of industry and academia, professors or teachers or advisors or consultants, and then while handling the project, if whatever gap, whatever shortcoming they are finding in academia, in their training, in their dissemination, that will again go back to the knowledge reservoir to improvise that. So the third part is the think tank, apart from doing the projects, will suggest a set of R&D, which is very close to the academia objective. The academia objective is into R&D, and industry add-on is a R&D. Industry will improvise, they will reduce the cost, they will improvise the solution, improve the solution because of the R&D. Now, R&D is something which is of interest to both these things, the academia as well as the industry. So, if it comes out from the think tank, from the same think tank, which has the mentor of both the fields, then setting up a R&D. What R&D will do? R&D will develop because academia, in any case, they have to spend 1 year, whereas a student can learn the whole subject, whole the course or syllabus, maybe in 3 months or 6 months or 9 months or whatever the time. There is a different type of students available. We'll not discuss that in this slide. Right. So they have the ample time as a part of their curriculum to develop software, tools, and utilities which will be used, one in industry, second is improvising their knowledge reservoir. So everything is happening, in fact, two-pronged. One is the academia improvising their pool, their knowledge, and second is the tools or add-on tools of the industry. So whatever dissertation and the research and the paper and other things academia is doing, why not we take a live subject? For example, in my field, like in the geospatial field, geospatial field is not used, especially in India, in the field of crime. Geospatial is such a tool where you can predict crime. I'm giving a pause. Geospatial is a tool where we can predict crime, where the crime will happen, how we improvise our policing and other sort of things. But industry is not having time to address these things because they wanted to profitable project unless some user or client comes to address this kind of subject. But academia is having ample time, lot of time to address these kind of new things, the integration of the industry using their knowledge. So this one slide explains actually what industry is there, what is academia is there, and how we can reduce the gap. Now, why the bridging gap is very important and how we can bridge this gap. One thing is that as industry, academia is going on, people are doing master degree, PhD and other sort of things. So industry is hiring them, giving them 6-month training, reducing the gap. The 6-month training is, the probation period is, industry has no faith on the student who has done MTech or PhD or whatever it is. They have less faith, very less faith actually. So that's the reason they are hiring them as a trainee. They are hiring them under the probation period. so that they can tell what industry environment is there, how we are doing, and then take it, confirm employee and other things. So why the bridging gap is important actually? It's a compulsion. My mouth is getting dry. Now it is not that it's a desirable. It's a compulsion to both the sides. Compulsion for academia is unless their students employable, their purpose is not getting resolved. Their purpose is not solved. And employability is very, very important. Now, for the industry, it is very urgent because they wanted to reduce the time, reduce the probation time or the training time. At least the student should be known to their environment, how to address a project and how to write a project report and other sort of things, apart from their academic knowledge. In any of the project, my experience says there are two things. One is the domain knowledge, the subject knowledge, the generic knowledge, and second is the what project requires, what solution a client or a user is looking for. So the integration of these two things together is a solution, is an effective solution. So if academia is training students on the domain knowledge, then industry, there is a need actually of a think tank to understand the industry requirement also. So it is very important. It's a almost compulsion for both the field, academia and industry, to fill this gap, to reduce this gap. Now, see, the employability actually, bridging this gap will help to increase employability. Both sides, employability is required for both academia, industry, and economy of the country also. So, both. So, employability will only increase when this gap will reduce, or there is no gap between the academia and the industry. Now, the think tank, how I will not spend too much of time on this because I've already explained actually the how they are going. They need to go for a joint conferences, brainstorming session between the industry and academia. These are some of the known ways of reducing the gap. But in one of the slides, I will give you the workable solution, which we call it a short-term solution or a workaround or a jugaad sort of thing. That if we have this kind of thing in academia, they cannot change overnight, and industry, they cannot change the requirement. And what is the solution, workaround between these two to reduce this thing? Now, this is another thing, the training programs, the technical skills and other sort of thing, the involvement of the professors and other things that we have included actually in the think tank. Once we have created the think tank, I will tell you my experience actually to giving these kind of solutions in universities and colleges. And it is very discouraging actually. They are not very much interested actually to hear the industry, to interfere in their ways, in their syllabus. They don't want to wake up actually. They don't want to deviate from their existing setup, existing things. But anyhow, we have to keep on saying this as we are saying, "Sone ki chidiya jagao." So we have to jagao many people actually to make Sone ki chidiya. I 100% agree. Sone ki chidiya exists. I am very happy with this slogan that Sone ki chidiya lao. I mean, bring Sone ki chidiya. It's not bringing. It's already there. Only thing is we jagao. Usko sirf jagana hai. We have to make efforts to. So now. The another thing is need two mentors. The mentor actually, the teacher and industry expert, there should be a right blend of these two things together
Right.
while teaching, while preparing students for industry, for employability. Either they go for a startup or a employability or start their own business or whatever. They need the skill, they need the proper skill, they need the both the environment, the domain knowledge, the perfect domain knowledge, have new ideas of from R&D and industry practices. So you can make new things by these three things. You know a subject very well, fine. You know what how the industry moves, it's absolutely fine. But unless you bring R&D, unless you bring new ideas, so nothing is. I'll tell you, there are 80,000 asteroids which are revolving, I think, if I'm not wrong, 30 kilometers from the Earth, and they have ample resources like metals and everything is there, which
Yes.
is finishing on Earth. It is already there, very near to us. So they are the broken part from the different planets and other things. So we need to explore those. So you need to bring ideas. Why we are making electricity on the Earth? Why do all the power stations they are above the they are in the sky? They are 6 kilometer or 7 kilometer above the sky or other sort of things. So only why I'm saying all these things because you need to have a new ideas. With your existing knowledge of academia and inertia, new idea is also required. So another thing is the R&D and business incubators, incubation. In every university or college, they should have business incubators in their premises. So the people who have made up their mind to go for the startup and other sort of things, they can do the practice. They can do hands-on experience within the university, within the college, within their known environment. If a person is doing BTech for 4 years or 5 years, they know universities, they know everything, their lab, their tools, their everything, they are known to that. And once the business incubator is there, so the university can promote 5% or 10% of the students or from the outside people to come into a business incubator. Once their the proposal or their project is successful, they should be out of the incubator to in competitive market, in the competitive market. So the basic which the industry or a financer is giving you some money to do the practice, those kind of practice should be there in a protective environment. That is a business incubation. If all universities having three things, think tank, R&D center, and the business incubator, half of the problem is half of the problem will be solved. I don't remember the right figures, but all these BTech engineer students, more than 70 or 80% are unemployable by the industry.
Yep.
I may be wrong because I remember actually a few years back, this figure was true, 70-80% are unemployable. But again, I'm saying I'm not remembering the correct figure. So just take it most of the, or most of the engineers and other things, they are not employable as per the industry standards. So we need to improve these things by three things. One is the think tank in university and colleges, R&D center, and business incubate to give them this support. Now, these are very important actually steps. Use of open source technology. I suggested many universities to start a center of excellence in geospatial technology and remote sensing. I'm again and again saying geospatial technology and remote sensing because that is my subject, that is my field. It could be any other technology, any other thing. So the open source is a free software, whereas the generic software in the field of GIS and remote sensing is more than 30 lakh rupees. 30 lakh to 50 lakh rupees is the cost of the software of a generic software, one of the generic software. In which I am expert, in fact, on that software. So, but if you are using QGIS, Quantum GIS, it's one of the software which is freely available. Which is freely available. The problem with the GIS companies outside is the people are not known. They know about the geography, they know about civil engineering, they know about the network engineering, the other domain knowledge, but they're not aware of the software because software is very costly.
Right.
Now, if they use the open source technology, open source software in the university with the help of some advisor and consultant like us, so they have the hundreds of software legal. They have the hundreds of legal GIS software where their students, their teachers can do practice, can make projects, can approach Department of Science and Technology, can approach the local bodies to give them the prototype, give them the project. In fact, they can go to police department, they can go to transportation department, how the GPS is fitting and how we track the GPS, and the software is free of cost, and it's one of the very, very good software. So the meaning is, and all the schools, all the universities, they can use the library management software, and they can integrate all the libraries of India, and then from one country to another countries with this free software POHA. POHA. It is a free software. It's an open source software, library management software actually. So within a school, they can manage their library, who issued the book. It's giving one of the example actually. So what I'm trying to say is with all these things, Ubuntu, the 10th class question is there, how we use MS Office, how we use MS Word. So how the student will do? They will use pirated software because they cannot buy it. How the things will happen? If they force, why don't they use Office Libre or Ubuntu, which is free of cost, and operating system? Like Windows, there is a Ubuntu. Like MS Office, there is a Office Libre. It's a free of cost. And they know how to create a file. What we wanted to know in MS Word, how to create a file, how to append a file, how to modify a file, how to save a file, how to delete a file, how to take the backup. How they are doing it, different software is a different thing. But they know about the MS Office and other sort of things by free legal software. And they are good, they are very good. Change and improvisation, the one thing is in fact suggested, and why not the business incubator? They need, if somebody is opening up a software company, from where he will get the software? Or in business incubator, he needs 2 lakhs of rupees to buy the software. But if we use the open software, open source technology, free of cost, with a zero cost, hardware cost, he can start companies in day one. And if the project or the solution comes in a different software, he can do that. But he knows the process, he knows the logic, he knows everything using free software, that is open source software. So to start a software company, cost is a zero. Other costs are there, marketing cost, idea cost, development cost, and other sort of things. But the software costs, you can reduce it. And whole university can be managed using open source software, university management software. There are ample, there are a lot of actually. And then from one university to another university, their certificate, their this, that, and everything, their payroll, everything in fact. So second thing is change and improvisation in education system. This is a longer step. This is not point of discussion, but it's not in our hand actually. How we provide the governments and other lot of things are involved in change and improvisation education system. to me, when Hindustan was Sone ki Chidiya, at that time the education system was they were teaching education by 5 books. Panchtantra. Panchtantra was for 5 books by which the king's son and rich people were getting trained, were getting education. Why? Why they were so intelligent? There was 5 stories, 5 books. So that was learning-based education system. And now it's a teaching-based education system. Teaching is a forcefully injecting something. You are giving some knowledge or something to remember. But learning is you don't need. I will tell you the kind of kit, the robotic kit which I made actually indigenously, we made actually. So that was the tool for learning. And I did the experiment with a rickshaw puller. I called a rickshaw puller and say this is a robot, simple robot, which was traveling from point A to point B, 10 meters. And then I'm telling the speed. Speed is equal to distance by time. 10 meters is traveled in 18 seconds. So speed of robot is distance by time. And then we explain what is the velocity, the direction of the speed. If the distance is a displacement or going in one direction, it's a displacement. And the displacement by time is velocity. And every student of 5th class will remember this thing. And if we take a further two formulas, they can resolve 12th class question, physics question, by S is equal to ut plus half at square, the distance formula. And it's very simple by one robot. And forget about the robot. A cycle going from 1 kilometer, then if it is known that distance traveled with 1 kilometer in 20 minutes or 50 minutes, then the speed is equal to distance by time. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Then you have to remember speed is equal to distance by speed is equal to distance by time. So my second point was, second suggestion was basically changing education system from teaching to learning. Extension and bridging academia industry gap. There are two ways of fulfilling this gap. One is whatever suggestions, the figure in fact that we have discussed earlier, that is the one way. Second way is forget about the educational institute, forget about the industry. You create another intermediary thing, which you call anything, in fact, whatever you call it, intermediate thing, which will take the educated people with a BA, BTech or MTech or BSc qualified person, and then they know about the industry. Within 3 months or 6 months, they train that person from a BSc person to a industry employable person. So, two ways. One is to improve or interfere the academia thing, disturb the industry, combine it together. That is one way. Second way is to create intermediary colleges or institutions which understand the domain knowledge and convert into a practical skill, practicable knowledge, practical knowledge. So two ways. One is the creative extension academia and industry to fulfill the industry gap. This is a business idea also, startup idea also. This is required. And so third point is over. Business incubator in universities and colleges, which we have already discussed, that if they have the protective environment, so it will be easier to do the experiment of their ideas to make a product, to make a solution, that sort of thing. I think it's the same example, open source technology, use of open source technology, that's the two and the thing which we have already explained. Change and improvise in education, that I think we have already discussed it. This is the again same thing actually. So there are two ways. One is to implement this. Other is to create an intermediary institution between the two. I think we are extension or bridging the academia industry gap. Um, Incubator again. I think I almost finished my talk on this. But if you have more minutes, so I can explain my experience actually taking these kind of ideas to universities and colleges. So, number one, they don't want to listen new things because they have the lab. They clap, oh, it's very good, very brilliant idea and other things. Why don't you come over and implement this as a extension, as a part of extension? So, given everything, but it's a very difficult to talk to educational institute to make certain changes in there because they are getting students, they have their HR person, which brings the campus interviews and other sort of things. Somehow, few students get employed. So that's how the things are going, but they are not improving. When I delivered similar sort of thing, actually in one of the university, I said, you have a programmer. The programmer may have X value, may have 100 rupees value actually. But and remote sensing, the programmers are not available. Same programmer will become an expert programmer and he can demand 10x whatever is the value, his value will increase. So why I am saying this thing, the integration of many things is required in academia. And industry do the integration of technologies to reduce their cost. The academia need the integration of their things, their project, their things. Very important. Another important. And robotics, in fact, we created a kit actually. With one kit, we can make 60 or 70 types of robots. Same kit, you dismantle it, make it. A simple example is a student, if you say make a cart, make a mobile moving robot, right? So one student was making a cart with 3 wheels, other was making a cart with 4 wheels. Few students make a cart with 5 wheels and 6 wheels. And then there was a question that how many wheels? Why car is having 4 wheels? Why not 5 or 6 wheels? Now there is a car with a fifth wheel which can rotate the car while it is standing. Why not? So the student need to think. They can think not with a pure academic bookish thing. They can think once they have something in their hand, which they can visualize. The robotics was made keeping in this view that if there is a one class of robotics, 6th class, 7th class, they can learn many of their science formulas or commerce things or aesthetic. Even art student can learn robotics. The look, feel, color, and other sort of things an art student can think. So he was thinking not about the efficiency of the robot, he was thinking the beautification part of the robot. There are many, all the students actually, but I was failed miserably. The kit is still in my house, but we are not promoting that because no school has given response. We were giving free of cost demonstration, and a lot of money was required, which we technology people are not having or not having the extension, making projects and other sort of things. If a person is an expert, he's a known, he's a scientist, why he will? I'm sorry, actually, this may differ. Actually, this may differ your views and many other people's views. If a person is expert, he's a genius. Why he will go for a financer to finance his project? My views are different actually, but if a businessman with a new idea will go to a financer to make it. I know there are many answers to my question, but the reality thing is there are many scientists many genius people, but they are not. They don't know how to make projects. They don't know how to make documentation. They don't know how to make those kind of things. So they are deprived of investment, or they are deprived, or the people are deprived of their discoveries and geniusness of science. And thank you very much for giving me the time. Thank you very much. That's what I. Is there any question actually I can answer?
Thank you, sir. I have an observation, not a question. In fact, I have a case. Uh, okay. Uh, my history is that I am a person with cerebral palsy, and my speech is affected. My hand, left hand is affected. Uh, most of the times I am pretty okay physically, but at times my right hand also doesn't work properly. Now my livelihood depends on this particular piece of electronic equipment called laptop. And if I can't type, I am in a very bad shape work-wise. So I had a chance to collaborate with IIT Madras, who took my voice samples and made a tool to get my computer up and running with my voice. If I use the Microsoft voice recognition, it takes 6 months to learn my voice, and with the problem that I had, it doesn't learn it properly. It took IIT Madras also some time to get used to my voice, but then they needed data to such a level that I could not provide. My recordings, actual recordings, I am not able to record and send them every day. It is probably a bulk at 15 days or so. But they need it every day. So these sort of problems that come up with academia, which when I am at work, I can't be doing it. So what you are saying, the actual problem that comes is unequal responses from academia as well as from the industry.
See, I don't know which sort of technology or how the IIT Madras is.
No, they are still building it, and they have told me that you will not face an issue, but the time that it takes
Yes.
is not viable. There is a gap.
Yeah, I agree actually, but you need not to give too much of samples actually. To me,
I do because sir, my voice samples are needed to get them to build that into the system.
No, they can rebuild. To me, in fact, my kind of thinking is, if you sing only few sentences, 10 or 20 sentences, they can make any number of speeches. Listen. What
Yeah, yes, yes.
what I know is you need to speak A, B, C, D up to Z and few intermediate things. So if you want to say the D or if you want to say Swaran, so that is out of those things, strings, things put together. So the day will come actually. I agree with you that it will take to give the training to the voice recognition software.
Yes.
They were taking different sort of because the tone, pitch, and
Yeah,
frequency
there,
of
there is a difference.
yeah.
And believe me, the day I'm tired, there is a slur in the speech and it is not clear.
Right.
So if I'm talking to the computer with a slurred speech, it will not understand.
No. It
Right.
will run. See, it is up to the computer. Which, for example, if I say Swaran, Swaran. So, I mean, if I change anything, the computer should know where to
Yeah,
increase your volume, where
Mm-hmm.
to change the frequency, where to change the wavelength. So there are in a voice like mostly there are three things: the wavelength, frequency, and the volume. There could be a artificial intelligence software.
yeah. Today I have the option.
We,
Today I have these options. And today I have online tools which transcribe instantly, even with with the inflections in my voice.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter.
See, if mathematics can prove the drunken man theory, the person who is a cut off the head and how five
Yes.
steps he will move, and
Yes.
this is very easy. In fact, whatever you are saying is a
Yes.
very predictable. But there it is nothing is predictable. The gambling theory and the other
Yeah.
sort of things in the mathematics. So there are two things. And that is what, in fact, I was trying to say. One is take up a software and then customize it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a software. You customize that software as per
Yes.
your pitch, wavelength, frequency, and volume. Those kind of things. There could be possibility. I'm not saying 100%. There could be possibility to train the software as per your requirement. May not be fully. So what
Hmm.
I'm trying to say is give a project to a academician. They will
Yeah.
do something, and the second year give the same project to the next year students. They will improvise that. Within 4 or 5 years, you will get the best of the software in the world
Yes.
from the academia. But you need to give five iteration.
Right.
Or industry has no time actually to go, but academia they have the ample time.
Right.
So giving one project in our industry, if one person is developed the something, next year the professor is not giving that project to anybody else because it has already been done. No, that could be the starting point of another thing, and then starting point of another
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
So the improvisation is a way to
Mm-hmm.
see even man, the human, the human being actually. We improvise. We had a
Yes.
spare wheel, and then we face a problem. We smooth the edges. So created, and that's how the round wheel evolved actually. So it is very those kind of things. In fact, if we have the right method, I'm
Yes.
100% sure everything can be.
Yes. So I'd like to make a comment first and foremost, Farhan. Excellent presentation. I love it. And as you know, we are streaming live to 8 of my separate platforms, and we have people coming in from all over the world. And I would like to take a moment to read to you some of the comments because what we're talking about is very powerful. So let me get right into it, if I may. Angela Elting from Washington, D.C., she says, wow, this is awesome. Janet Walker, she says, fantastic program theme. You are incredible. And whoever wrote this vision statement should inbox me after the program or at some point. She's actually a famous author. So I don't know if she wanted me to let that out, but I let that out. But then I think she's coming out of Atlanta, Georgia. And then Buck Dumbuya, he is coming out of the UK. He said, I couldn't agree more with the mindset of open source technological approach. Open source strategic approach contributed significantly towards the social and economic development and growth in China. And so we have Miss Starr out of Paterson, New Jersey. She's with us. And so many other people around the world are joining us on multiple platforms simultaneously. So I wanted to say, I wanted to go back to this message from the UK. And so the message from the UK is that he couldn't agree more. What made you look at the technological approach and the open source strategic approach as a way to help our youth become more employable and also be able to upshore themselves and have sustainability in multiple markets by taking this type of approach?
See, I'm not saying open source technology is the only solution in industry, but my focus was open source technology is a tool while learning, while whatever the domain knowledge or whatever they have learned to implement it. You need see algorithms and other sort of things actually. Whatever algorithm you know the shortest path algorithm from one point to another point, there are thousands of algorithms to calculate the shortest path between the 2 points.
Right.
The cost part, the allowed or not allowed part, and on the road especially. What I was trying to say is to evolve new algorithms. Number one,
Yes.
to integrate new algorithms with those open source technology. The benefit of open source technology is that you have the source code with you. If you want to change, improvise the open source technology, open source, you can go into the programming part, the coding part, and change it. And you can give this that, and you can customize it for the customer. For example, Sharmila ma'am was saying that the training of their voice actually. You can take a open source part of the software, put the sample, voice sample, and other sort of thing, and make a new software, a different software than the open source or the commercial software, and that is applicable for Sharmila ma'am only. So you can customize it, you can change the source code. I am not gone into the characteristics and other sort of things of a open source. There are many benefits because you are having the source code. If something comes in your mind, you want to change it. You cannot change it to MS Word. Because most of the time I want to select a column. There is a way actually, but still I want to select a column rather than rows. But I can go in a program and change it. So whatever you're thinking, whatever you're learning in academia, you can implement there and then with a software and tell the world that you have learned this. Otherwise, you keep on writing your ideas on a book, and later on, once you start a job, you try to forget everything. I have a whole Excel sheet where I've written these ideas, and sometimes I feel that I should donate ideas because I don't know how long I will be there on this planet. So you cannot implement all of your ideas. You cannot, but if you have a proper those things like an entity-based map, GIS map is we are putting a point for a post office. But why don't we put a post office picture over there? Those are called entity-based maps. But you cannot do these kind of things It's in a generic GI software, but you can do changes. I was involved with, I cannot discuss those some of the project in that which were secret of nature, but you can change certain things in open source technology. That
Right.
was my point.
Right. Wow.
That's
Wow, I
true.
had to get my mic back up. Swaran, I want to thank you for that. And our global audience, we want to thank you for your questions. We want to thank you for watching us and being on board with us. And we welcome you to continue to stick with us. This is a 48-hour. We are making history. This is a 48-hour broadcast, and we will continue to have speakers from all around the world talking about this amazing technology. We're talking about the golden bird philosophy, and you and people that you know can be a part of what we're doing. It's here in India, of course, but what we're doing is we are embracing people all around the world, and you can be one of those people. So you can connect with me on the Lotus Rocher Ignite Show, News You Can Use, Bring Who You Are, and make sure you go to YouTube. We are broadcasting live on YouTube. Bringle is on what? Bringle is on the board right on YouTube. Make sure you go to YouTube, put some comments there, give us some likes, ring that bell so you don't miss anything that Dr. Sharmila, Miss Jita, Swaran, myself, and the whole Bringle family are doing as we continue to make history and come to a country near you. So thank you so much, Swaran. Amazing.
Thank you, Lotus. And it's been an honor to have you here with us.
Thank you.
Always. Always.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to give a special thank you to, we have a friend in, I believe he's in the UK right now. He's watching us, Mr. Buck. He is inviting people to come and watch us. And I invite each and every one of you out there, go ahead and invite someone you know, because we are focusing on many, many different areas. But today, Swaran and myself, in our time being with you, we were talking about how do we really help the youth? How do we encourage them? How do we build them up? How do we get them ready to be employed and be ready to be in this ever-changing industry? And so we've had a great time. I hope you have too. If you've enjoyed us thus far, put a number 5 in the comment and continue to watch us throughout the rest of the day, the morning, until our 48 hours has been reached. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Dr. Padmashi. You are here? Do you have any questions for Solan, sir?
I've sent her a message to unmute herself. Is she in US now, right? It's afternoon time there.
I don't know if she is there as yet. She just logged in and kept it ready for the next session.
Because she had sent a message sometime back.
Okay.
Yeah. There is a chat message from her.
I have not been looking at the phone. I was too engrossed in the presentation.
Multitasking, that's right. So, viewers, while we're multitasking, if you have any questions, if there's anything that you would like to see us do in the Bringle family to make things more efficient, more effective in your life when it comes to technology, when it comes to education, or a myriad of other things, please don't hesitate. Put your comments in the chat in YouTube. Put your comment in the chat in Facebook. And wherever you're viewing us from, put your comments in the chat and we'll be happy to get your questions answered. And whatever you want to see us do, if we can do it, we'll do it for you.
We'll be happy to answer any questions.
Was it to me?
No, we have Dr. Padmakshi here, but she is still on mute. So if she has a query, if she has a question, we had been expecting Sabita to join us. She had sent in her A, but I guess she is busy. She hasn't still joined.
I'm reaching out to her as we speak.
Oh, I think Padma is now on mute.
Yeah, Padma is on now. Good morning, Dr. Padmakshi. How are you?
Good. I must
Hey, are
first
you joining
appreciate
us?
your energy. 3 o'clock in the night and look at you still smiling. Amazing. Beautiful.
Okay, sounds good.
And
No, I don't
Thank
get tired.
lovely.
I really don't get tired.
Swaran sir, Jaggi sir,
Yes.
I was on mute, but I thought that I was not listening to you. Amazing. The concept that you said, give it to the academicians, first year, second year, third year. That's what is quality education, which I always trust on. Wonderful, because it's like our child. Nobody would like to give it off to somebody else once it is developed. So, as you said, constant work into it, and after 4 years, you get a wonderful product. Hats off to you, sir. Wonderful. It was to all people like us who just give up in the middle. No, it's like don't give up, give it to the right students, and especially students have the urge of doing something in life. So that's when you give it to them, you get wonderful, beautiful. Sir, hats off to you. That was really comes with huge experience, doesn't come out just like that. Thank you. And Dr. Lotus Richie, ma'am, you were just saying people across the globe are watching, and wonderful. That is Indian way of telling namaste. Please, this is for you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing it. And it's lovely to see Sur ki chidiya sabka neend se uda raha hai. That is really beautiful. And as usual, Geeta madam and Aishwarya are supporting wonderfully. You all are rocking. Keep rocking.
We all are rocking.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Sorry, we all are
We all are
rocking.
rocking.
Sur ki chidiya udke, it is rocking.
Yeah. It's a,
But,
no, it's
but,
a
but
noun.
bird has to be soaring.
Yeah.
Lovely.
To keep the golden bird awake, we also need to be awake.
Right, ma'am. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, over to you. Please continue.
Any questions you all would like to ask? I think Dr. Lavitra sounds foreign.
No, I had this observation that I mean, the institution approached me and gave me that solution. But it takes a lot of time and effort from my end to give that data to them, which is a little taxing. And now I have different kinds of tools available online. So I really don't need a different customized tool for myself. But I do use voice recognition and very efficiently.
Voice interpretation actually another new things which many people may not agree. So there may be in future there may be an interface between animal and human being. If an animal will say "ho ho," it is translated into English. And
What does it say?
if you want to give any instruction to an animal, you say in plain English, that interface will change it to an animal's voice. See, that we thought of long back. So you need a device, you need a create a device which converts human voice to an animal hearable, animal understandable voice, and animal voice to a human being understandable voice. That will happen in future. So this is one of
So
the
we have people who understand animals, and there are horse whisperers, there are dog whisperers. They understand the psyche of the animal and talk to them.
so that they
That is
understand.
something that goes there. It's not exactly the language, but it's there.
So that is okay. That understanding one dog's language to its owner is okay. I'm not talking about that. I'm
No,
talking.
I'm not talking of her owner. You have a wild stallion who is tamed by a horse breeder. That's a skill that the animal understands and the human understands.
Absolutely.
Each of us.
Yes.
There is a bond somewhere there.
Yeah.
I can relate to it because I'm a animal lover, and animals come to me.
So,
They actually come to me. Uh, it's something very different.
yeah, that is true. But I was talking about the use of technology.
Use technology to talk to a different species.
Yes.
That may happen. Uh, Lotus have had so much experience in even looking at the military end. How much technology has been used in the military and the navy
Wow.
to different kinds of security systems.
Yes. Yes. So there are some things that I
So,
won't be able to talk about, but of course, many people know that we use sonar. Okay. And
Yeah.
it's without
yeah,
question that dolphins are some of the most
yeah,
smartest creatures on the planet.
smartest people.
So you said something earlier that we may be using technology to talk with animals. We are already using that technology. In fact, there's a system out right now that actually hear the sound from the frequency that they put into your environment. And this is one reason why it's so essential to have plants, not just for what they do when it comes to creating great oxygen for us, but they also help to bring us to a level of homeostasis because of the vibrations that they're putting out when we don't even realize that more than likely our inner ear or our inner spirit is resonating with the frequency that they're putting out. That's why so many people, when they have so many plants, they tend to be more healthy within the body and within their mental capacity. And so with that being said, the sky is not the limit. The stratosphere is where we are moving to when it comes to technology, our ability to communicate effectively, our ability to open up new realms and new ways to do business, to make us more sustainable and to make us more futuristic. Because let's face it, what was the thing an hour ago when it comes to technology is no longer the thing, because we are currently and continually is the word I want to say, continually evolving when it comes to technology. And so Ron, you kick the ball out of the playing field with your presentation. And again, with what you shared, we have to go back and leverage every area of life to help us to draw people into understanding that, listen, technology is the way to go. We don't want to get left behind. This plane is already taking off. Jump on board for the great future that you deserve. So I just, when I go back to your presentation already, Sharmila, we definitely are. And the best is yet to come.
Dr. Lotus, I think you're on mute.
Yes, I just turned myself on mute. I was checking the broadcast to see if any questions have popped in. I don't want to miss anybody. If you have some questions, if I happen to miss you, you can pick up the phone and call me. I'll pick up the call from you and we'll get your questions in. No worries. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share on that point, because you are right, Sharmila. Technology is taking off by leaps and bounds, and we are communicating with animals already. We are already communicating with plants, and plants are communicating with us. Animals are communicating with us as well. We are learning things like never before at lightning speed.
You have waves singing, and you can actually match the frequency and sing back. You have dolphins talking to you.
Yes.
So we are already there.
Yes. Even when you talk about, let's talk about frequency for so there's something called the Rife machine. Okay. And Mr. Rife, he created it, and it deals with various frequencies. And frequencies have been used to break up cancer. When we talk about frequency, they don't just help us heal the mind. They help us heal our body. But technology is, can you hear me okay? Okay, let's see. All right. I think we're still here. Let me see if I can get back over to our broadcast. Give me a quick second. We're getting back in. I think I might be able to turn my cam on, folks, so that you see me. I think I'm back in.
Recording in progress.
All right, fantastic. Okay, fantastic. I'm going to try to go back to the broadcast and make sure we have it. Give us a quick moment, folks, and we're going to get the team back up here in the stream for you so you can continue to see what we're doing. Okay? Give us a quick minute. But folks can hear us on the broadcast, so continue to speak, please, and I'll get us back into the screen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That is something awesome. The broadcast that you are doing is something awesome. And yeah,
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so we're back in the stream, and people can still see us. And thank you, audience. All right, fantastic. And folks can still hear us, Shamila. So continue to move forward. I see Hulda Ima Paul. She's here and she says this is interesting. So thank you so much. We welcome you to the broadcast. Please let us know where you're coming in from. And thank you, Bug, for bringing her and mentioning to her what we're doing right here at Bringle for people in India and all around the world, making change with one person at a time, with new innovation and new ways of thinking. And we have Miss Hulda Ima Paul. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She is watching us from Sierra Leone.
oh, wow.
And so if you have any questions for us, don't hesitate, put it in the chat and we'll definitely get your question up as soon as we possibly can. And thank you. And for those of you that's watching us on YouTube, you can also find us on Facebook. You can go to Lotus Crochet Ignites. You can go to Lotus Crochet and you'll see us on Facebook. And make sure you tag a friend and tell them to come on so they can hear this amazing presentation that's being put on by Bringle. You'll be happy you tagged a friend. All right. Okay, so I don't see any questions right now in the broadcast, but I am going to check on my other device because other questions are streaming in there. And I'm going to go to a couple of the other platforms and I'll check as I'm able. Okay. And as you're coming in, go ahead to the YouTube and look up Brindle. And when you see him, go ahead and give him some thumbs up. Make sure you follow, like, and share, and make sure you ring that bell. So as we continue our broadcast, you will not miss a thing. We have amazing speakers that are going to be coming up with phenomenal information that you don't want to miss. And be sure to let your friends know to come on and join the broadcast.
we have a proper Deepa?
Yes, I can put that up now. I was just about to say. Any specific, or we can just start with.
We have couple
Uh,
of them.
Ansha was shared on the WhatsApp also, so I think I can choose that one.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Give me a second.
If there are any questions, we can take them. Otherwise, we can run the video and Rubis will be here. Or
Yes.
if you will carry on the can talk to you.
Yes, Sharmila, we do have a, and give me 1 second, and I can
Yeah.
tell it. I can see the question. So the question is coming in from Miss Hulda from Sierra Leone. She said, "It's a pleasure. I came in late. Can you please tell me what it takes to become a golden bird?" I think our video is going to be able to share that. Is that correct, Sharmila?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Fantastic.
Our video will tell how you can become a golden bird.
Okay. So stay tuned, and we're going to let you know.
We can have the video of
The earlier one we were playing.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's
That
the one.
has,
Yes.
I'll put that on.
Question. And then after the video, we have another question come in from the UK. Shamila, while we're waiting for the video to come up, we have a question coming in from Mr. Buck Dumbuya. He's asking, in what ways do you intend to use the to sense and understand underlying issues affecting mental well-being among young people and economic development in developing economies? Pardon me. And so I'll read it again. The question is, in ways do you intend to use to sense and understand underlying issues affecting mental well-being among young people and economic development in developing economies? You're on mute. Okay, we can
The
hear you now.
economic development will happen if the population is healthy in the mind, body, and soul. That's the nice which I have worked. And for satisfied and be in a space where we can learn and implement knowledge. The other thing is, yes, I do have I'm setting up centers, Sona Area centers, where we will have mental professionals who will definitely take up the issues facing the population, young and old, and the teens and the adults, all. mental health, physical well-being, and learning. All three at the Area Center. So the Golden Bird Centers will handle all of these issues. Economic development will come if you have a healthy working workforce.
Fantastic.
I hope that answers your query from UK, right?
Yes, I believe he's coming in from UK.
Should I go ahead and share the video?
Which we have still not answered.
Rise and shine. Know yourself to transform into a leader. जगाओ जगाओ अपनी सोने की चिड़िया को जगाओ. Good morning, good afternoon and good evening. Happy Bringling. My name is Anshav Jain and I'm founder and managing director of Bringle Excellence UK and India. Being an Indian, I'm extremely proud to say that India was called as Sone ki Chidiya, a golden bird. और यह सब इसलिए क्योंकि हमारे पास बहुत धन संपत्ति थी. As evident in our history books, India was the number one economy till 1192 when the first invasion happened and our last Hindu Samrat, Prithviraj Chauhan, was killed at the age of just 25 years. और इसके बाद हमें 755 years लगे अपनी आज़ादी को वापस पाने के लिए. और आज जब हम 75 years के बाद अपनी आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव मना रहे हैं, मेरा आपसे एक सवाल है. ऐसा क्या हुआ उस समय कि हम अपनी आजादी को संभाल कर नहीं रख पाए? क्या हमारे पास कोई लीडर्स नहीं थे who could take this up and support our country? Actually थे, but we lacked something called leadership, someone who could stand up and fight against odds. और ये मेरा व्यू पॉइंट है. What they lacked was courage, conviction, and traits of a leader. अगर आज आप देखें तो आपको पता चलेगा कि we have great business and political leaders in our country and they are able to bring India to a very very powerful situation again. और आज हमारे पास एक और एडवांटेज है जिसको हम बोलते हैं डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड. अगर आप आंकड़े देखोगे तो पता चलेगा कि आज हमारे पास 54% पॉपुलेशन 30 years of age से कम है, which means that we will have so much young population in our country which no other country has with them across the globe. बहुत सारे देशों को मैन पावर बुलाना पड़ता है अपने देश में काम कराने के लिए. Now this may lead to us into a difficult situation if these youngsters are not employable and not having entrepreneurial mindset. आज अगर आप देखें तो ना जॉब्स की कमी है ना कैंडिडेट्स की, और ये बहुत अच्छी सिचुएशन है. लेकिन क्या हमारे युवा और बच्चे इस दारोमदार को संभालने के लिए तैयार हैं? शायद नहीं. As per my 18 to 20 years of corporate experience and even being a serial entrepreneur and angel investor, I have seen a big challenge of not having employable candidates, and that is creating a huge gap between academia and industry requirements. Government and business leaders are working on this issue with various institutions like Skills India, Niti Aayog, Startups India, MSME support, and even Invest India kind of ecosystem, and even had revised the policies. Corporates are spending and investing a lot of money, time, and energy to upskill and reskill the candidates coming in from the colleges and universities. And that's why we at Bringle would like to support such great initiatives from whatever we could do within our limited capacities. We would like to inspire our 260 million plus youth and 500 million plus children in our country to know themselves well, identify their core strengths and even weaknesses, and achieve what they really deserve and desire. We at Bringle are committed to empower them with our 50,000 experts community spread across 70 plus countries with 1 million plus learners and 15,000 plus entrepreneurial community and a global reach of 200 million plus in 140 countries. And that's why this initiative Sone Ki Chidiya Ko Jagao is all about awakening their golden bird hidden inside each of them. This Sone Ki Chidiya is nothing but their leadership capability, and once that is awakened, there is nobody in this world who can stop them to transform themselves, their country, and eventually conquer the world. We had taken a pledge on 74th Independence Day that we will transform our country into a self-sustainable and financially independent economy leading to zero unemployment. That is why we are setting up Sone Ki Chidiya Ko Jagao skills development centers in the entire country, schools, colleges, universities, corporates, residential apartments, villages, town, and even in rural and tribal areas to develop their employability skills and entrepreneurial mindset. हमारा बस एक ही मकसद है कि हम अपने भारत के कोने कोने में जाकर एक एक बच्चे को, युवा को ढूंढे और उसकी काबिलियत पहचानने में उसकी मदद करें। पर यह सब हम अकेले नहीं कर सकते, इसलिए इसमें हमें आपकी मदद चाहिए। Please connect us to any educational institute, corporates, large business houses, and even builders to help us setting up these Sone Ki Chidiya Ko Jagao centers. Keep bringing, keep growing. जगाओ जगाओ अपनी सोने की चिड़िया को जगाओ. Keep spreading the Bringle dream wave and help us transform 1 billion lives, 1 million businesses and 100 unicorns.
Thank you so much, Lotus. That was such a fantastic session, and your time, your precious time has been spent with us. I'm extremely grateful for that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And so, folks, the Lotus Crochet Ignite show is humbly honored, and I encourage you, I implore you to continue to connect with Bringle. If you're wanting to be that golden bird, now is the time for you to connect. So we will be joining this broadcast again later. And so continue to watch this broadcast. Go to YouTube. If you haven't joined your YouTube yet, go to YouTube, look up Bringle, and get on board. And so, Dr. Sharmila, I want to thank you for having me here. Gita, I want to thank you for having me here. And Mr. Shahu, I know you're about to blow our socks off with your presentation. So have a blessed day, everybody.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much. And I'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining the Lotus Crochet Ignite show. It's time for you to invest in yourself. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Go ahead and jump in. I can be in the broadcast from anywhere, just like I am traveling. I'm doing a conference, but guess what? I made time to get on board with our folks in India. Why? Because it's important. Because we've got to do some things that's going to change our lives. I want to thank all of our viewers from all around the world for jumping in. I see you in Sierra Leone. I see you in the UK. I see you in the United States. I see you in France. I see you in Africa. I see you in India. And special thanks to my friend Buck. Thank you so much. And great job for you as well. And so until I see you again, make sure you connect with me. I am going to be speaking in the amazing city of Kansas. That's right, Kansas, on this amazing platform with none other than Dr. Michael Freeland as he does his second annual Mental Real Estate, second annual Mental Real Estate Conference right here in Kansas. So I welcome you to join me. Go right to Eventbrite and get your ticket because it is a hybrid event. That's right. Go right to Eventbrite because it is a hybrid event that you don't want to miss. And who knows, you'll probably see me coming back here later to tell you a little bit more about the event that's going to take place tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. sharp right here in Kansas. Yes, and Kansas, you don't want to miss Dr. Michael J. Freeland doing what he's doing, helping people to understand their mental real estate as they free their land. And you can free your land too. And so I look forward to seeing you. Can't wait to see you on the tube tomorrow when we get this thing going. And no matter what you do, always remember to ignite and take flight in every area of your life. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Hey folks, I just wanted to come to you briefly today because I've got so many folks asking me, Lotus, how are you so successful? Success is relevant to whatever you think success is. To some people, success may be having a big house, fine cars, or just having a great job. Some people, in their mind, success is just having a great family and friends. For me, success is being able to make a difference, not only in my life, but in the lives of the people that I come across. Help do this is I encourage people not to make excuses for not being successful. Don't let fear, complacency, procrastination, someone telling you that you can't do it, and the most important thing, number 5, you telling yourself that you can't do it. See, you got to rise above giving yourself excuses. You've got to give yourself every reation to win. After all, you are a winner. So today I share with you, don't make excuses. Make moves. See you. Remember, follow the show on YouTube, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss a thing as you ignite and take flight in every area of your life.